All right, everyone. Welcome to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for Monday, June 25th, 2018. All right, so today we have the moon shifting into Scorpio, deep Scorpio. So good time to get in touch with the deeper aspects of our feelings, really strive towards that emotional security, cultivate that type of emotional security in our life, and just practicing that vulnerability with ourselves and, of course, our relationships. So this is the theme, but today we do have Venus squaring up to Jupiter, which actually comes across as quite an easy energy to work with. Maybe a bit optimistic or hopeful today with that square, maybe particularly about relationships or resources or the enjoyments of life. So good to work with this constructively and maybe initiate some things that can be long-term enjoyments and constructive ways of enjoying these things in life. All right, so let's look at all of this here in more detail when we return. All right, so here's the sky for this Monday. Again, we are using the actual signs of the constellations called True Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, check out that link down below because the signs are different from mainstream astrology. All right, so the moon in Scorpio here, shifting into the deeper dimensions of life. We could be feeling this way with the moon, but also just noticing themes around this. So always really good with the moon here to do things in our life to empower ourselves. This could be through facing fears, that transformation, or facing inhibitions, sometimes removing obstacles. And most importantly, I think just getting to the core of what matters most in life, right? And just being aware of that and accepting that. So usually really good as well to do healing, any type of deep diving, psychology, spiritual transformation, things of this nature. Fantastic with the moon here. And again, we could just notice some themes pertaining to this. And again, you know, at the end of the day, it really is about that vulnerability with Scorpio, getting through the walls. You know, the natural tendency for us with this energy, especially with the moon, is to put up the walls, both for ourselves and our relationships. So anything that we can do to develop that trust, letting the walls down slowly in our own time, in our own way, really constructive with this, and that develops trust with ourselves and of course with relationships. So that's the theme of the day, but we are approaching a full moon here this week. We'll have a full moon on Wednesday and Thursday, right there on the cusp of those 2 days. So the energies are gaining here this lunar month. Great week for gaining some momentum, possibly gaining some insights, and with the sun recently shifting into Gemini, the overall theme is that of particularly learning. It's a really good time for accessing our inquisitive side. So getting into this type of curiosity, willingness to learn, willingness to share with others. Gemini, it's all about communication, sharing, exchanging, but anything practical as well in your life. Really good sources of energy at this time with the sun. Now, Mercury is shifting from Gemini into Cancer this part of the week, so we may notice our minds maybe going a little bit more into the past, into our feelings, into our soul, you could say, which is Cancer. And so good to kind of be turning that mental energy into the more emotional or receptive or soul elements of life. And I think it'll happen naturally, but kind of nice to be aware of that and facilitate that in any way that you may decide to do that. Venus is finishing up Cancer as well, but still great time to be enjoying those connections in such a way. Maybe that caring and nurturing side with our one-to-one connections, usually very good with Venus there. And Mars in Capricorn, still a great time to be seeing the big picture when it comes to what we want, our goals, our personal needs, just taking things one step at a time with this grounded Mars energy at this time. All right, so today in terms of the aspects, we do have this Venus squaring up to Jupiter. It will be the most important thing. And so Venus, the planet of also relationships, our resources like finances, and even just the simple enjoyments of life, getting this bit of hopefulness or optimism or inspiration and quite possibly opportunity. So it's good to feel this if you are today, but to also use it constructively, because squares, again, are about taking action and setting initiative. This is the kind of energy where maybe we want to rest on our laurels or be a bit lazy, enjoy the easy material life, the easy enjoyments of life, this type of thing. So observing any overindulgence, also practicing moderation is good. And I think most importantly, taking that constructive action towards maybe building some of these enjoyments, values, or developing, our relationships or connecting with others, setting that intention, right? And in this way, it does become very constructive. And with that Jupiter open-mindedness, that can sometimes create opportunities if we sort of follow through with it, which is usually what we want to do during the square. All right, so that's the very important energy of the day, Venus squared Jupiter. Very nice energy as well when used in that way. On a minor note, the moon is sextiling up to Mars, so maybe a little bit of confidence or initiative today kind of supporting us, which is, again, the kind of major theme of the week as we approach this full moon anyways, more heightened energy. But Mars is about to go retrograde, I do want to mention, so this will be around the time of the full moon. It will be a time of now, over these next 2 months until the end of August, to be reflecting on what drives us, what motivates us, right? What are our needs, who are we, and what do we want? These are the kinds of reflections we'll be doing coming up here, and we may start to notice a bit of a slowing down with starting to, reconsider our needs, what we want, that kind of thing, as Mars goes station, but that'll be mostly tomorrow going into Wednesday. All right, so that's the day in a nutshell. Great day for that constructive enjoyment, constructive connection as well. Great time to be inquisitive with the sun shifting into Gemini, learning, willing to communicate. And with the moon in Scorpio, our emotions going into the deeper realm, the theme a bit deeper here for the next couple days. Really good for this acceptance of what comes up and letting the walls come down, at least for ourselves, right? And doing this inner work, which can lead to healing and transformation. All right, so have a fantastic day, everyone. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow for the daily forecast.